this is just the beginning.
You have had a pretty good weekend as well. On Friday, the Warriors beat the Clippers. Last night, you beat the Lakers.
What is true? Or better yet, what is more true? Okay, let's just take a second. Take a step back. Okay, we finally made it. We are in space. And from here, I think I finally get it. I can see it all. Folks talk about bad shots a lot. Even when folks are taking shots that they practice or plan for, there is still this urge to call it a bad shot. Because a broader society, including the person calling it a bad shot, themselves probably would never take that shot or make that shot. But inside of broader society, somewhere in the middle of most people, there are some folks in the face of all of that still take the shot. And at the end of the day, sometimes they make them, sometimes they don't. But it's never really a bad shot, especially if that person makes it. Okay, I'm talking in circles here. Especially if the person makes it. Yes, I'm talking in circles here. Okay, let's try this. When any player enters their shooting motion from 40 feet out, it's like taking a little bet on yourself. They are willingly accepting the consequences of missing, but really hoping to enjoy the praise and disbelief when they make it.
Smith fires for three. Oh, yes. Come on.
And one of these people is this dude right here, Steph Curry. For Steph Curry, we are all past the trope of calling him a bad shot maker, or even for story purposes, acting astonished that he would even take that type of shot. We're past that. For Steph, this isn't a bad shot. For Steph, this is a bad shot.
Steph Curry behind the back, drives down a lane and misses the jam.
And now we can go a little deeper into space. I'm gonna take you into my actual real-life inner monologue during the run-up to this moment right here. But first, the background. It's the 2019 playoffs, and the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference semifinals are up 2-0 in the series versus the Houston Rockets, a matchup that went 7 games in the previous year, but now in Game 3, in overtime, in a game where Kevin Durant has ISO'd his way to nearly 50 points, dragging Steph Curry along in one of those "is everything okay?" type games, added 17 that felt more like 7 points, but still somehow the Warriors were in it.
Fires three-pointer, he's fouled.
And with a pinch more than a prayer left, Steph Curry gets a rare open lane, nothing standing between him and bringing this game back within 3. And in his 44th minute of play, in a game where the ball never bounced his way, he did the one thing that every single Warriors fan desperately did not want him to do, but knew he would do. And this is what I was thinking. Don't. This was low. Embarrassing. This was our savior, our hope, our argument for the greatest. Real Warriors fans and Steph fans are watching Katie rise to the occasion, while Steph's getting hung like a 13-year-old on a 9-foot rim. That's our unanimous MVP? This is bad. See, that doesn't happen to professional basketball players. It happens to low IQ sophomores. He looked so old or young right then. This kind of stuff never happens to LeBron or never happened to MJ. I mean, they may miss a dunk, but they missed in an impressive way. Not like that. That doesn't happen in the NBA. So that happens, and the Warriors lost. In a weird, just kind of let the clock run out type of way.
They're not going to let this clock run out, are they? Warriors are going to let it run out.
And then the question is, why? Why would he try to dunk? See, it's not about it being bad. It's that it was delusional or stubborn. And the funny part about this attempt from Steph Curry is that it generates that same feeling when other people take shots from 40 feet. And Steph Curry has to know this. But there it is. I believe he tries because he knows people don't trust him to do it. He knows that most folks know he's not good at it, and that frustrates him.
Steph, what happened on the with the dunk at the end there? That's pretty self-explanatory right there.
Oh, why didn't you lay it up then?
Probably a little bit of frustration.
And the fact that he's not good at it, but he keeps trying, even in horrendously selected moments, reinforces the best artificial sports framing in hoops today. And that framing is that Steph Curry is human. He's just like us. He's not 6'10". He can't put his whole forearm in the rim. He's just a regular guy from the block that practiced really hard, relentlessly, and was able to become the best to ever do it. And that regular guy attempting this dunk becomes a great thing that reinforces that narrative. That narrative that connects to so many people, kids around the world. Steph, he's just like us. Okay, so I personally love it. Now I do. Because this actual narrative, the one that will emerge and submerge for eternity like a cosmic equivalent of the Loch Ness Monster, this is a genius story. And I love it. And I love it so much because it's not true. But they keep telling me it's this. It's him. It's his body type, physicality that makes him relatable. He's short. He's unassuming. And that's what makes him regular, right? I remember a long time ago I was lucky enough to sneak into the White House visit for the 2015 NBA champion Warriors. And along with shaking Harrison Barnes' hand and telling me he had the best looking suit out there, I watched tall-ass Steve Kerr and tall-ass Steph Curry walk right by me. And it made me reevaluate this narrative, because they are not regular-sized people. He is not like us. He's damn near 6'4". He's got incredible hand-eye coordination. He's a scratch golfer. He's incredibly fit. Did I say he's 6'4"? That's in like the 95th percentile of height. And he can run for days, and he plays professional basketball, and he can shoot from 40 feet out. This is not just all hard work. A lot of it was work, some of it's luck, some of it's genes, some of it's whatever the stuff that you and me don't have. And to make it more clear, there are plenty of people his height that we would never consider regular. You wouldn't say similarly heighted Russell Westbrook was regular, or even Damian, maybe even a little shorter Lillard, was the everyman. But there's that clear distinction. These guys can go up.
Some hurt.
And our man Steph is still trying in the worst way. And that seems relatable, regular. See, but then there's the man himself and what he's willing to accept, his own perception.
Look, you are, without question, one of the finest players of your generation. Like, when you play, it's jaw-dropping.
You can tell he does not like this everyman persona. I'm not saying he doesn't get it or even appreciate what it does for him and his fans and all the kids chucking up threes all over the country, world. But this whole thing, this whole dunking thing, he's had a long battle with this. Just look. All these clips of him proving to us that yes, he can dunk. See? See? He can dunk. I can dunk. The truth is, Steph is more like us in these moments than any other time in human history. And this is a very, very familiar story. I can't tell you how many times in my adolescence I told people I could dunk, only to attempt and to fail. I lose grip, ball sails past the rim, getting hung, but every failed attempt just fueled me. It made me even more certain that yes, I can dunk. You know why? Because I could, and I can, and I did. I dunked in my backyard, and nobody was around, except my dog. I dunked on the playground that one time warming up. Just a couple people there. I even did this weird little layup type dunk thing in a game off an offensive rebound at the Y one time. When I was 16, I went to the Cal gym, Cal Berkeley, it's a college, where most of the guys that were playing in there were college students and faculty, I guess, I don't know. And I felt extra freaking bouncy that day. On that hardwood floor with just a bit of spring and some relatively new shoes that were peak flexibility, I faced up with this old, crusty man who was boxing out a little bit too hard. He talked a little too much and he made sure to let me know I was just a kid. So when I had my chance, I came down the court on a one-on-one fast break, and here comes dude coming in with a sharp angle, and I took off. I got so high off the ground, soaring towards the rim, and all I felt was Gramps down there taking out my legs. So when I tried to dunk, I missed. It really wasn't even close. I was high enough, but I wasn't close. But I think I grabbed the rim or something. The ball was just long gone. So me and him ended up in a pile on the ground and quickly separated because I was pissed he took out my legs and he was, I don't know, embarrassed. The point is, from that point on, to anybody that wasn't there in that gym that day, I told them that I dunked on him. That was the end of that story. The retelling of that dunk was always successful, and it wasn't a lie to me. Again, I'd dunked before. I had done it legitimately on actual regulation rims, on blacktop, on hardwood, but I just never did it in a game, a real game. But in my mind, I just merged the moments, and I created a more representative story that could get across the important basketball narrative of me. Okay, back to Steph.
It's really incredible watching you every time you're on the court, but last night...
I know where we're going with this.
You did something where I'm going to say... it gave me hope.
He keeps trying and trying when we all know he shouldn't. There is a clear struggle going on here. There is an improper arrangement of priorities here. And even after this and this, there isn't a single soul that thought, well, I've got a good idea. Steph should try to dunk it. Even Steph himself knows how bad of an idea it actually is. Listen to him. In this San Francisco Times article, Steph said this about dunking. It doesn't just happen by accident. It takes every bit of my attention. It's not like, oh, I'm up here, let me just dunk it. Cha-ching, Curry impression. So with that in account, the facts emerge that there are 0 Steph Curry dunk attempts that are a good idea. Even the ones he makes, they're such a struggle. Steve Kerr even said this about Steph dunking in that same San Francisco Times article that I just found 15 minutes before I wanted to upload this damn thing. He said, more than anything, when he dunks, it's just a relief that it goes in. So there's even a conceit here in Steve's answer. There's no depriving or advising against him doing it. No matter how ill-advised it is a basic hooping element that each player at this level feels a right to, like a human right. And do we need more perspective? I mean, listen to Klay Thompson talk about dunking.
I just get so happy when I get a dunk, man. It's a rare occurrence, but tonight I got one. I looked up my family and I was pumped, and hopefully I can have more attempts like that throughout the series because those really make me happy.
He adds great perspective because he has 0 hops.
And I'm not the biggest leaper,
but completely understands the importance of dunking. It's bigger than just a shot.
Oh, Klay Thompson has been dunking as of late.
And a quick side note on Klay. Klay even does that thing where you get so hyped on yourself, you start thinking you can do things that you can't do. And that's another problem. It's similar. Remember this? These weren't even close. I'm telling you, he is a professional. He's feeling good. He's on a world tour. He's probably feeling like a superstar actually right now. You know how it gets. And what should a superstar professional basketball player be able to do when he's showing off to a bunch of locals? Well, a 360 dunk, of course. I don't know if Klay's ever done a 360 dunk. But in that moment, he thought he could. He felt it. I am a professional basketball player. I can do this. And what's even cuter about this is how Steph makes fun of these plays and these moments of Klay's delusion.
Deja! Hey! What happened, Klay? What happened, Klay?
Anyway, back to Klay and his lust of the dunk, or his understanding of it. Here he is, the night he had a career-high 4 dunks.
What do you think of your 4 dunks?
Man, it felt great. I don't think I've ever done that. Haven't done it since high school. And even in high school, I was probably leaking out, cherry picking, so that was nice, man. That felt better than hitting 10 threes, to be honest.
And what's similar about Klay and Steph, they have notoriously questionable dunking fundamentals.
That doesn't concern me. Your weakness should concern you.
I mean, we just saw this with Klay, ending up in a precarious dunking position, ending horribly.
The floor and a foul.
Yeah, Danny Green did this, but Klay has never been solid in his dunk release.
There you see the awkward landing, and right away.
I just barely dunked post-dunk danger. Like this one. You see this one? when he gets flung back and lets go at the most precarious time, which, as I know about, can lead to some forearm stingers or a bonk on the head or a tailbone buster. So we all hold our breath when Stephen Curry goes to dunk. But it's important. But it's a flaw. Steph Curry is a top-tier athlete, and we know you can improve jumping tremendously. And even guards his size can do this. Guards his size have done this all day. Even his old buddy Monte. See, there's literally something wrong with him, I believe. Blame it on the hand size, blame it on the height, blame it on the jumping. But folks like him, they never got completely pinned down as the everyman. They were, at least when they were in their prime, figures floating above somehow. I don't know, maybe you have a different experience, a different memory, but even as they were described as undersized or small, it still wasn't regular. At least not as much as it is with Steph. And maybe it's literally his face that helps, the quote-unquote baby face. But there's something else in there, and I think this is it. Look at young Chris Paul. Look at AI. Look at KJ. Look at all these people. You don't get that same tightness when they went up. This iconic moment from old man Baron Davis. When he put this one down, it was a moment in time. But nobody, not even the biggest Steph fan, has any hope that one day he will come down the lane, cock it back, and dunk on somebody's head like this. This is the closest he's ever come to dunking on somebody, and it's incidental, accidental contact that probably helped him get up in the air. What is it? Maybe a lack of attempts? A lack of trying? Lack of confidence? I guarantee, if somebody asked Steph, would he give up 5% of his three-point shot efficiency in some weird deal with the devil for 5 guaranteed dunks directly on people's heads per year, he would do that deal in a heartbeat. And I can relate, okay? I relate to this dunk. I relate to this weirdo dunk here where it's a layup and you turn your hand at the last minute. I definitely relate to this one where it bounces out because you're so excited about grabbing the rim and you think that's what you got to do at that moment in time, that you actually cause the ball to bounce out. This is a classic sign of not being able to dunk. See, because greatness and success in one field does something strange to humans. This happens all the time. When a person is great at one thing, they try something else. And since Steph is so high profile, and was, and maybe one day again, the face of the league, why should he carry this narrative of being the everyman? Does he like it? I don't know. Is it beneficial to his legacy? Yeah. But regardless of social responses, there's something in him that wants us to know, that wants me, you, him, her, them, his kids, to know that he can do the basic act in basketball of dunking, in-game dunking. He needs us to know that. And the fact that he can do it in practice, at home, wherever, isn't enough. He needs to put this to rest, so he needs to do it in a game. It's like he has no choice. It's the same confidence that enables this. And this.
On the perimeter, bringing a big man away.
It's seeping into the wrong parts of his processors. He needs to do this. He saw that open lane and he knew what he needed to do. He's a professional basketball player. He's had a tough game. And the right of an angry professional basketball player feels like all the balls are bouncing the wrong way is to just slam the ball down and let out a little bit of anger. It's the reason Russ gets so pumped. It's the reason Kevin Johnson and John Starks and Baron Davis are immortalized in these moments when they took full control of their birthright. He needs to show us that he can do that. He needs to dunk this ball for his own sanity and his own journey. But when he doesn't and blows it in the worst possible way possible, it is these moments that make Steph Curry as the everyman the most true.
Because you did something and you proved that you're actually a human being. Take a look at this.
Here's Curry off the steal.
But there's more. Because here's one that I think Steph thought he got away with. After the Warriors dispatched the Rockets, and Steph Curry was back on top of the world after that 0-point first half and 30-point second half miracle, and he's taking his Warriors straight through the Blazers on his way to a 4-game sweep. Nobody is doubting him. Everybody is praising him. He still needed his moment. In the height of his powers, right after the win, this game right here is over. He still did this. Oof. Oof. Oh, Steph. I understand. I get it, man. You just played amazing basketball. But this is all you want. That's all you need. That right there. But you can't have it. And that's why you're our everyman. I want to say thank you to my patrons. I barely ever get a chance to shout out my patrons. Patron 1, Patron 2, Patron Round 3, top tier patrons, the bummy patrons, the grandmas, the brothers, the sisters, the organizations, the political affiliations. Thank you, patrons. I want to sing a little song for my patrons, okay? Here we go. It's all about my patrons. That's what I like to say, because I love you guys. That was specifically for you. You know who you are. Your names are just on there too, so that's how you know who you are. Everything is evergreen. Remember minute. Remember minute. Remember minute.
This is just the beginning.